terrorists, murderers, the Death Squad. Or freedom fighters in an uneven battle, noble in their suffering. It all depends on your point of view. I helped Yorvith. I gave him my trust. I joined Saskia and took the side of the rebels, their new values and ideals. Time will tell if I was right. One thing is sure. Elves are the best archers who have ever walked this earth.
Yorvith, that's what I call an entrance.
I have to admit, the squirrel has style.
Not all is lost. We need to cut off Henselt's escape.
What are you talking about? He looks as if he likes it here.
He'll change his mind. Join Yorvith and shut the main gate.
Yarpen says Deathmold's magic damaged it.
Yarpen knows fuck all about gates. Cover my arse and I'll close it.
The fate of the battle hangs on it, Dwarf.
There's no bloody gate that Zoltan Chive can't close. Zjadov! 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 Pull up the ladder! Yes, sir!
Yorvith, we need to get to the main gate, now.
Admit it. You thought I wouldn't come back, Windblade?
You're hellishly good. We need to stop Hensel from retreating.
And then force him to try it.
There's no time to waste. To the gate! Done!
They're cut off like sitting ducks.
Maybe they'll surrender.
Sire, your orders. We surrender.
The battle is over, King.
You won, and the victors state their terms.
You know my terms. You will relinquish Eden and sign an act of unconditional surrender in which you'll promise your troops will never cross the Pontar.
Is that all?
You'll pay war reparations and recognize the free realm of Upper Eden with Saskia of Vergen at its head.
What about me and my men? What awaits us?
Freedom. It's a great thing. Look how many of my soldiers died defending it.
How much do you want?
We'll discuss the war reparations in detail at Loch Muin before esteemed witnesses. There's one thing Saskia didn't mention.
I'm listening.
Since the dawn of time, wars were, are, and will yet be. One side wins, the other loses. But military conflict should be carried out under chivalrous rules and laws.
What's your point, sorceress?
War criminals, including Deathmold, must be punished.
I need an advisor.
War criminals must be punished.
You'll have a new advisor, Sheila de Tanzaville.
Has this witch gone mad?
It's a necessary condition.
Deathmold committed a crime and he must be punished.
As you wish.
Execute him.
Don't allow them to harass me like a dog! You'll see how a real sorcerer dies, foolish whores!
Swear an oath and you'll walk free.
Who am I negotiating with anyway?
Philippa Eilhart and I speak with one voice.
Be wary of the sorceresses. They often forget whose perch is higher.
Philippa is my advisor.
We await your decision, King.
I, King Henselt, Lord of Kedwin, swear before witnesses that I will relinquish Aedirnian borders. I recognize Saskia of Vergen's reign in the realm of the Pontar Valley, and I swear to pay war reparations in the amount agreed upon at Loch Muin.
You're free.
Show the king the way out. It's time to go, Saskia.
Yes.
I don't like it.
What?
Saskia. I know her well. She's never behaved like that.
Her eyes look as if she's taken Fistek.
I assure you, she doesn't use it. Let's follow them. They disappeared.
A teleport.
Let's search Eilhart's house. She was in a hurry. Maybe she left something. Let's take a look. I've got nothing, except for women's finery. If only this bed could speak.
Yorvith, over here. I've got something.
What is it?
A tome of potion recipes.
We've no time to read books.
Sorceresses carefully guard books like this.
Not that carefully. After all, she left it behind.
She was in a hurry.
Could this book have anything to do with the Dragon Slayer?
Even if it doesn't, it's still very valuable.
I'm sure it's filled with recipes Eilhart used to send many to eternity.
You're right. I've found Thaumadour's recipe.
Eilhart already told us the ingredients for mage pain. How's it relevant?
Usually the recipe for an antidote is right next to the one for the poison.
I can recite it exactly. Royal blood, an immortelle, a dragon's dream, and petals from a rose of remembrance.
Yet this book doesn't even mention a rose of remembrance.
I recall perfectly that Eilhart said a rose of remembrance combined with an immortelle heals the mind.
What if she lied? Maybe it doesn't heal the mind, but influences it. Philippa passed the flower to Saskia through a kiss, the symbol of love and perdition.
I'm confused.
I think Philippa subjugated Saskia's mind by adding the rose to the antidote.
I'll kill that bitch.
Philippa has magic and an obedient dragon at her command. She could have a strong influence on the conference.
But what does she want?
We can only learn that in Loch Muin.
Let's go then, Gwynblade.
Geralt! Saskia's disappeared. People are getting riled.
Dwarves, too.
Saskia's spellbound. Philippa controls her.
You're shitting me.
I knew something was up. I could feel it. She ordered Deathmold executed, no trial, just like that. A gesture from Philippa is all it took.
That bastard deserved it.
I wouldn't be surprised if Zoltan had ordered it, as vengeful as he is. But Saskia?
Where is she?
Philippa's taken her to Loch Muin. I'm going after Saskia, with Yorvith. Everything suggests those responsible for Foltest's death will be at Loch Muin.
Some still say you killed him.
I've got to stop that drivel. Don't have a choice, but you do.
The elite of the North is gathering at Loch Muin. I couldn't forgive myself if I wasn't there. It'd be a sin against art.
The art of poking your nose in others' business.
You'll be needed here until Saskia returns. Order must prevail. There can be no strife. The victory over Henselt was an important step, but only the first on a long road.
Him I composed could help.
Vergen will need many more songs.
I certainly hope our paths will cross again, Geralt of Rivia.
Stop dramatizing. You can be sure of that. We've got unfinished business of our own.
Huh? Oh, aye.
Let's go then, Gwynblade.
Sheila de Tanserville. I'd sensed from the start that some dark mystery lay behind that cold countenance. Following the demise of the Council and Conclave, there was no one left to keep the mages in line. But regicide? Why? What was this all about? It seemed these questions would be answered at Loch Muin, an ancient city amidst mountains, the remnants of the civilization of the Vrans, whose dusk had come long ago. And you would be right to ask, why did you not set out for Loch Muin, Master Dandelion? Vergen was free. Yet what is freedom without its awareness? It might too easily pass from hand to hand were a nation to lack individuals capable of pointing the way. I remained in the Pontar Valley. That is the task fate seemed to assign me, to safeguard freedom as it budded and bloomed. Who knows, I may yet prove freedom's bard. Yet forever feeling a vast, shared responsibility for the fate of the North, I dispatched to Loch Muin my faithful and capable friend, Geralt of Rivia. Have I mentioned his disdain for politics? Well, it was at Loch Muin where he could finally give vent to it.
Even gesehen?
Asire varanahede.
Me voltocht en gehedvin. Me vertruv heden Bellenglick.
Visedein ib kieseret. Net en verbtene. Het en krisa. Do you know what this is?
I know.
Who it is?
Triss Merigold. Until recently advisor to King Foltest. Artifact compression. Complicated spell.
Is she alive?
Her life processes are on hold. But it is reversible. Though very difficult.
You created a portal between Loch Muin and Nilfgaard. You should manage the figurine.
Stand back. I cannot be sure how her body will react to decompression.
No pentagrams, candles, spilt blood.
It figures you do know little about magic, Ambassador. It matters not.
We need her alive, Asira. Make sure her body survives decompression well.
I'll do what I can. But she will be disoriented for some time. What is your name? Oh! Tell me your name. Tris!
Vise getocht gedein. Vise espet eb wovret. Dartocht eb nedling derien. Mehen eveneens eb turin. Me pöft en alverdeg. Marigold. Your name is Tris Marigold.
I recognize this valley. This path leads to the city gates. We're almost there.
Monsters.
Long time here by your king. Wasting time. These mountains witnessed the fall of two cities. First out the brands.
They may be about to witness the fall of a third. Did the elves conquer the Vrans?
No, disease did, and the climate. Long ago, the sources of the Pontar did not freeze over and flowed all year. Flowers still bloomed on these slopes in Velen.
Knights of the Flaming Rose at a peace summit.
I wonder whose side they're on.
On that of whoever paid them.
Any idea who might have summoned them?
Radovid. Now the scum of the Order wear the Redanian coat of arms as they burn pyres. Witch hunts are their favorite pastime, or so I've heard.
Radovid witnessed what the Order did in Vizima. He saw the Grand Master's madness with his own eyes. Yet he gave them a new home. For a good reason, I expect.
That's easy. He needed a whip against Islehart.
They've made camp outside the city walls. Means they're not here in an official capacity.
Are they on vacation?
Maybe they just don't want to stand out.
Islehart has a dragon up her sleeve. Radovid has invited a unit of the Order's Knights.
Don't forget Sheila and Henselt.
It should be an interesting peace summit.
You shouldn't let them see you.
I know. To them, a good elf is a dead elf.
It's not because you're an elf. It's because you're Yorvith.
I'll try to enter the city through the caves. I'd advise you to do the same.
The Knights will know I'm wanted. You know of a passage?
I know of a cave nearby. There are many ways to enter Loch Muin, my friend. If Radovid has summoned the Order, I'm certain the others have brought their armies as well. The city must be full of soldiers. All of them sitting as if on a witch's bomb, waiting for a spark. But that may be to our advantage. If the rulers have holed themselves up in camps, it should be easy to move about between them.
Let's go before we get noticed.
Good you're here. Look what I found.
Keep your distance.
Already forgotten that a similar creature hung around my cave.
There's a forested valley on the other side of the city, once teeming with wildlife. It's now dead. The royal delegations arrived here that way.
I know. That's why we went around. What exactly killed the Vrans?
As the years went by and the climate turned colder, the Vrans had less and less freedom. Their hunters descended to the lowlands where they encountered the first human settlers. Dysentery. The Vrans began to fall ill. They tried to save themselves, building an aqueduct and sewers that rivaled today's. But it grew colder, and the canals remained frozen for most of the year. When the elves arrived, they encountered...
We're in Loch Muin.
We're on the fringes somewhere. We should find what we came for nearer the main quarters.
Let's go.
They gagged Philippa in the nick of time. She almost cast a spell. Rotting in the Redanian dungeon now in special shackles.
Radovid's right to show the witches their place.
I wonder what they'll do to her. Either the executioner or the monsters will have their fun. They say Logmuin's dungeons are full of scum of all kinds.
No idea what they locked her up for, but every sorceress is guilty of something.
True enough. Not likely to see anyone weeping for her.
A dungeon befits Philippa Eilhart very well, though gallows would be even better.
If they killed her, you can forget about healing Saskia.
They must guard her as heavily as the Emperor's bedchamber. We'll not get in there.
I'm in no hurry to visit the Emperor's bedchamber, but we've got to get into the dungeon.
Look for a passage through the sewers. I'll locate Eilhart's quarters. If she didn't expect to be arrested, I may find something interesting there.
I can think of a quicker way into the dungeon than the sewers. I just need to get arrested.
They'll take your weapons and put you in shackles. Though there is some chance you'll wind up in Philippa's cell.
I'll manage. Wandering through the tunnels would take too much time.
Let's go then.
I'll find Philippa. You search her quarters.
Right. We learned a lot the last time we browsed through her things. Va fail, Gwynblade.
Medallion's vibrant.
Say goodbye to life! For Natalis! For Foltest! For Natalis!
don't believe you killed Foltest.
I didn't.
But a bounty is a bounty. I'm sure you understand. As a professional. It's nothing personal.
One more windbag.
What can I do for you?
Do you play dice?
Would you like to join us?
Another time.
Yes.
Let's play dice.
You must first defeat my teacher. He's a master of magic, but grossly my inferior when it comes to dice.
Oh, be damned.
Welcome.
Now you tell me. I don't work with sorceresses. This is no job for me.
What's going on? Are you about to fight?
The Conclave has forbidden dueling.
You can't just back out. We agreed. We have commitments to fulfill.
You did take an advance on your fee.
And I'm keeping it. Don't you follow me.
Witcher Geralt. A sight for sore eyes you are. May we speak?
Didn't expect to see you again. Certainly not here.
Loch Muin is an intriguing place.
For scientists especially.
We've mounted a small expedition and require protection.
Sounds like regular Witcher's work to me. It'll cost you.
We never imagined otherwise. Our employer spares no expense on scientific undertakings. You may expect a handsome fee.
After you complete the task.
I'll need an advance.
We'd prefer to pay a lump sum at the end.
Fine, but it'll cost you extra.
We shan't haggle once we reach Ebder Hanna's laboratory. The sorceress has quite a budget.
Quite a budget. Quite a body.
I don't have much time. Let me hear some details.
The sorceress will reveal everything. We're on our way to meet her. I can only say it concerns Ebder Hanna.
His laboratory, to be precise. Der Henna is dead.
I know a thing or two about monsters, and about sorceresses. What's this one's name?
I'm sorry, but we cannot disclose her name until you agree to join us.
Nice talking to you then.
Cynthia! Her name is Cynthia!
Remember that potion you gave me back in Flotsam?
Of course. How's the experiment going? Noticed any side effects?
Or peculiar interactions with other potions?
Yeah, every time I mix it with vodka, my tongue gets hairy. What was Der Hanna doing in this city?
Everyone's heard of his 1,000 Genie curse, but few know that he also had a penchant for the history of Loch Muin. He was particularly interested in the Vrans and their ultimate decline as a civilization. In his memoirs, he mentions that he left his archive here. That's how we pinpointed the location of his laboratory.
You did?
The sorceress did, in point of fact.
But we're the ones who know everything about Ep Der Henna.
I wrote my dissertation about the man. To arrive at the laboratory, we must pass through the sewers.
All right, I'm willing to help.
You won't regret it.
Where do we start?
We've gained access to an ancient crypt where mages were laid to rest. It's beneath that tower. Our companions await us there.
We've broken through in the right spot.
Quiet. Stand ready. He killed Vanamar.
And many other mages. I know who he is, Cynthia.
In the same city as Philippa, and you didn't even bother to change your name. That takes balls.
Philippa's out of the picture. She's been arrested.
And I was supposed to die, but I didn't. Grave error.
I'll make you a deal.
You don't get it. You turned Triss into a cold stone. I'm having a hard time trying to figure out why I shouldn't turn you into a cold corpse.
She is alive and well. We decompressed her successfully. There were no complications.
And the interrogation after she was decompressed? Because you did interrogate her.
I personally supervised it. We presented the tools, gave her a few bruises, and that sufficed to get her to talk.
Cynthia, tell him to shut up or I'll kill him.
Silence, Adelbert. That's an order. Witcher, help me complete my mission. Help me open Der Henna's laboratory.
What'll you give me?
I've read the intelligence reports. I know your past. There are things in there, important things you don't remember.
I could force you to tell me.
I don't think so. Will you torture me? We both know you couldn't.
We'll come back to that. How can I get into the Nilfgaardian camp?
There's one entrance. Beyond it, a long, heavily guarded corridor. You can't hope to sneak in. Renwald Matson chose the spot specifically to avoid being surprised.
Where are you holding Triss?
At the back of the camp, beneath a ruined building.
You're gonna help me free her.
Not likely. You're better off killing me now. You've no idea what the Emperor's intelligence apparatus does to turncoats.
Why are you here?
We suspect Der Henna's laboratory may contain documents and books that could be useful to the Imperial Academy of Science.
That wasn't even close to funny. You're lying.
We don't know what's inside. Der Henna was a talented man, but also an eccentric.
What do you hope to find?
That's confidential. I cannot tell you. Regardless, we need your help. The laboratory lies beneath the Redanian camp, which we cannot penetrate above ground. We want to get there through the sewers, but can't manage it without a capable swordsman.
About that offer. Fine. I'll help you open the laboratory.
In exchange, I'll tell you all I can. Do we have a deal?
Yeah.
Are we likely to encounter drowners? Or a related species? Perhaps other monsters?
That is how this world's built. Sewers are infested with monsters. Ghouls? No, just rough.
I'm impressed.
I've kept my end of the bargain. I hope you'll keep yours.
Be sure.
I'm no rat to run around sewers. What we're looking for, anyway? Some graves, I heard.
Graves? So maybe there is something in this for us.
Shut your traps. Want the sergeant to hear? We've been deep shite. But it is a good idea.
We've got company.
Redanian bastards.
The entrance must be somewhere here.
If our experts are to be trusted.
Der Henner dabbled in illusions, among other things.
He also experimented heavily with golems.
Golems with the power of speech, supposedly. They knew nothing of poetry, but...
Will you two shut up?
Yes, it's an illusion. I found a weak spot. Stand back. Later en Lorn, Lisa en Lorn, later dear!
At times I'm caught. You can get my kind of feat. Though I have no needles, they say I am piercing. What am I?
Careful with the answer. It could be a trap.
Typical of dear Henna. He was a genius with a penchant for mischievous jokes. Like a child.
So, a couple of adults, purported experts, should have no problem solving this.
Indeed, it's trivial. The answer is pain.
Incorrect.
No! Impossible! So many years of why did we ever embark on this? Imagine the books, the potions.
I'm seen to fly, described as hard. I can be your currency and heal all wounds, but not many things can stand my test.
Time.
Correct.
It's going rather well so far.
Not for everybody.
Someone's been here recently.
Too bad about Gaspar.
Well, well, the competition's here. Kill them!
They must have descended straight from their quarter.
Let a Nordling.
Another Guardian. Later Elorn, Lisa Elorn, later dear! It's reacting to my spell.
A group of travelers wandering through the dark. 3 guides above them, so 3 were marked. At night they trailed a drake serpentine and a silver lady shining and fine. If only her visage she would deign to unfold. By day they followed a mountain vault, its riches untold.
Did I hear someone complain about the riddles being too easy?
Let's think this through. There are 9 alcoves, a fresco in each. That's 3 groups of 3 frescoes.
The riddle mentions 3 guides above the travelers. We must examine the frescoes, seek answers there.
I'll advise you about the riddle, but I will not take part in disarming the device. I've got a bad feeling about this. cannot hope to finish.
A group of travelers wandering through at night.
What do you think of the first verse?
I would say it describes a serpentine dragon swallowing its own tail, which represents infinity and thus time. The hourglass likewise symbolizes time. In this case, the time of the traveler's journey.
I believe it's the Dragon constellation. It would be visible at night. What's more, sources on alchemy invariably portray dragons as winged, and as an accomplished alchemist, Gehenna would also be a competent astrologer. The verse must refer to the constellation.
In alchemy, the winged serpentine dragon represents prime matter, an essential component in the process of alchemical transformation. The verse seems to indicate the allegory illustrating that transformation.
It should be the Dragon constellation.
I shall take that one.
What do you think of the second verse?
To my mind, it speaks of the White Rose, symbol of the Order of the Flaming Rose. You see, the fresco itself resembles a coat of arms, and in heraldry, silver is rendered as white. So the Silver Lady and White Rose are one and the same.
I think it describes the full moon. In alchemy, the moon represents both silver as a metal and the feminine element.
The order remains largely unknown in the south, so the White Rose seems unlikely. Every Nilfgaardian, on the other hand, has heard of the Imperial Nausicaa Brigade, which has the Death's Head as its symbol. The brigade's name is female, and they say death follows the unit. So the Silver Lady could very well be Nausicaa or the Death's Head.
I think it's the full moon.
Allow me.
What do you say to the third verse?
It describes the precipice, the ravine amidst mountains. An ancient rule in alchemy states, as above, so below. The vault is the ravine into which the riches of the mountain flow.
We must read the third line literally. To me, it suggests the Mahakam Mountains and its mines, from which dwarves and gnomes extract many ores that are invaluable to alchemists. Those mountains are a vault in and of themselves.
The verse is not literal. In many legends, towers are in fact vaults, which the hero must penetrate in order to rescue an imprisoned princess or find a long-concealed magic item. The mountain vault is the tower.
The mine entrance in the mountainside. That seems logical. I'll stand next to that fresco. Let's see if we can solve this. Take your places.
Count me out. I want to live.
As you will.
Intruder detected.
No!
Our expedition has grown thin. Such a shame. I actually found those two amusing.
Shut up.
Of course, my lady.
A golem. So Gehenna's legend is true.
It is no more than an obedient machine created to follow orders and kill. Not unlike our Witcher.
So I guess we should get along famously.
You? What do you know about golems?
I don't run into them in every forest, but any good bestiary describes golems at length, and I've read more than my share of those.
Geralt, I'm not questioning your knowledge, but I should be the one to...
Actually, you are questioning my knowledge. Listen, I know what I'm doing. I'll try to get it to reveal the word that'll deactivate it, or I'll just mess with its head. Break the code.
So now we've got a burglar in our midst. Be my guest. Try.
My intentions are good.
As are mine. Know, however, that this may change.
Derhana must have been pretty lonely if he gave you eloquence.
The Master made me a guardian. Nothing less, nothing more. And you, provided you stand there, are a guest.
So you're aware you're an automaton?
Do we really know who we are, where we came from, and where we are headed? Is human life predictable in that the cycle of birth and death ensnares it? Better than mine. When a human is born, he is obedient to his parents. Later, he listens to tutors, masters, corporals. Finally, he succumbs to the will of death.
And to think that Adalbert questioned Derhana's mastery. Who, if anyone, is allowed to pass?
Derhana, but he is dead. Also guests may pass, but I stop intruders.
Tell me more. Who's a guest and who's an intruder?
Is it not obvious? A guest keeps his distance, or knows the name word. An intruder is anyone who enters too far, attacks me, or otherwise interferes with my being.
Has anyone tried to enter before?
I recall no intruders. I do, however, remember guests who left after being warned.
When was that? What did you discuss?
I am a machine. My memory is limited.
You're far more self-aware than a typical golem. Can you make sovereign decisions?
The Master made me the way I am, because long discussions were to his liking. I can make decisions, within my program, of course.
So you decide who's a guest and who's an intruder?
Who else would? Guests chat innocuously, exerting no pressure. All others are intruders.
I have other questions. Do you remember your creator?
Of course. I was summoned into being by Master Derhana. I abide by his will, by his power, by the necessity encased in my stone bowels.
Derhana is dead.
His word, which animates me, lives on, as does his legacy, which I protect. Empires will rise and fall, rivers will shift their courses, but I will remain obedient to one master on my eternal watch.
Derhana must have been an exceptional man. Can you tell me about him?
I guard everything that belonged to the Master, including his privacy, which he valued highly. I can tell you nothing.
Can I ask you for the name word which brought you to life and which can deactivate you?
Do that, and I shall consider you an intruder.
You're not an automaton. You're self-aware, and you think you can make decisions.
You're wrong. I am eloquent and can discern between guests and intruders. I can also deal with the latter. But everything I say and do is limited by my restrictive program. By the way, as an automaton, I am immune to all charms. Stop the intruders.
Take that.
Laboratory.
Let's have a look. This is better than I'd hoped.
A great success for Nilfgaard, this mission.
Maybe you'll get that promotion. Can you feel that?
My medallion's vibrating.
Another masking illusion. I'll try to disperse it. Later. Later, Elorn. Lisa Elorn. Later, dear!
The device. What is it?
You've done your job. You'll be paid and...
Paid like the scholars were? They died once they were no longer useful.
They were never useful, but Cynthia insisted. Fortunately, they were so kind as to remove themselves without my help.
I'm not about to be that kind.
Adalbert, you know what you're to look for.
Yes, Mom.
It's a prototype megascope. I didn't know it had survived.
What's it do?
The artifact detects an emotional bond with a person. Its user need only focus on that person and the device will establish a connection.
Great tool for a spy.
Yes.
Time you fulfilled your end of the bargain. What do you know about my past?
You were a rider of the Wild Hunt. I read the reports.
Don't the Nilfgaardians have anything better to do than write reports about witchers?
Not about witchers. About you. You are the sole person to have been a member of the host, and survived.
Anything else? Any detail you can give me would be useful.
Don't trust Letho.
You think I trust the people I hunt?
He's your foe today, but he wasn't always.
How do you know I knew Letho?
I've read...
The reports, I know. Why are you warning me about him?
Because I like you.
Is there anything to prove I was part of the Wild Hunt?
Nothing. Apart from the fact that Nilfgaardian intelligence agents are drawn and quartered for lying in their reports.
An enlightened nation indeed.
You haven't the faintest notion how many people are interested in you. Very important people.
Just because I survived?
You're a former rider of the Hunt, and you live. You may be the key to solving the mystery of the retinue, and they all know that. You must watch out for yourself.
Let's say you've satisfied my curiosity.
Well then, consider me glad to have satisfied a witcher, whatever the way.
I'd like to try out the device.
You realize that can only end badly.
Cut in again and I'll put you in my report. You may use it, but just once.
Giving state secrets away to a Nordling. Will you mention that in your report?
You're sure to be named a commander one day, Adalbert. But until that happens, be a good boy and do your job.
Article 22 of the Code is clear. Suspicion of treason is sufficient grounds to strip a commander of power. Article 1 of my personal code is equally clear. Traitors must be subjected to the most painful death possible.
I didn't expect that.
Multiplication. Second year at the academy, all mages learn it.
I didn't expect you to take my side.
Well, now choose one person you wish to contact. After that, the artifact's mine.
Nilfgaardian agents get quartered for lying in reports. What does the Empire do to agents who kill their colleagues?
Nothing. As long as no one finds out.
Will we meet again?
I wouldn't mind at all. Look for me at the inn.
Let's say you've...
Well then, consider...
I'd appreciate it if you didn't eavesdrop while I eavesdropped.
I shan't trouble you. I've a lot of work to do here.
Your fate is in your hands, Sorceress.
My fate? You haven't asked a single question about me.
Yet it is all up to you. Your situation is a comfortable one. Do not squander your chance. So, wish to tell me anything?
I'm a sorceress, an advisor to the King of Temeria. Ah!
I believe we agreed you would speak only of things I do not know about.
I hope you learned something useful.
I'm just sorry I can't use the artifact a few more times.
Its power has been depleted.
I understand. Thanks anyway.